You're welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, where flames have ravaged more than 100 shops at one of the biggest markets in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, the Congo market. And the fire incident occurred over the weekend and lasted for hours. And of course, the rescue soldiers struggled to no avail to put the flames out to no avail. And of course, in this newscast, we shall equally talk about a declaration of the Popular Action Party concerning the socio-political and security crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. The PAP has once again condemned the choice of President Paul Biya to use military force to solve the Anglophone crisis. And of course, we'll also talk about the elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari is leading as the results are streaming in. The Marché Congo, one of the biggest markets in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, has once again been hit by a huge fire incident, and flames ravaged more than 100 shops in the market. According to witness accounts, about 150 shops were consumed by flames over the weekend in that market in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, and the rescue soldiers who arrived at the scene had lots of difficulties in carrying out the activities, notably as a result of the difficult access into the incident area. And of course, that further complicated the situation as the flames were spreading further and consuming practically everything on its way, and over 150 shops were consumed in that market. It is, however, not the first time the Marché Congo or the Congo market is witnessing such an incident, and authorities, notably the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Dieudonné Vahadibois, the prefect of the Uri division, Joseph Maché Bertrand, and even the attorney general were on the scene to take stock of the situation. Here now is an extract of a declaration of Samuel Dieudonné Vahadibois, governor of the littoral region, on the incident.
We came with the Procureur General to see how the situation is. We are called for the sapeur-pompier, but they've got the first difficulties was the way to get inside the fire. There were many shops here and there, many things, so that they couldn't react one time. All the trucks were there, but they didn't act at the same time because of lack of way to pass. And we are saying that as the head of state heard also about this situation, we came on his behalf to mark his sympathy towards these population that have seen their trades burned away. And we can say that we have to deal this problem with the traders and to see how to bring solutions at this level. You know, with the first fire, the government decided to build a new market not far from this way, but it's not finished. They have to finish it and to make people go and rest there. But I can also say that while waiting for the definitely solutions, we have to ask the traders to give way to the market, so that when there's another fire, let the trucks come without any obstacle, so they can reach the place and react very fast. And that's why we have got this huge fire accident.
Are you planning a meeting with them?
There's no problem. We are working hand in hand. We are going to meet them and to see how to fulfill all this engagement.
The Popular Action Party, the PAP, of retired Supreme Court Magistrate Justice Ayapol Abine condemns President Paul Biya's determination to use military force to solve the Anglophone crisis, the socio-political and security crisis deepening in the northwest and southwest regions of the country for close to 3 years. Today, the party issued a statement concerning the prevailing situation, painting a horrible and disturbing situation in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, with the ongoing killings, destruction of properties, institutions set ablaze, villages set ablaze, and hundreds of thousands of persons forced out of their homes who are now seeking refuge, many of them in precarious conditions in parts of the littoral west, center, and other parts of the country, and even in neighboring Nigeria. Now, here's an extract of an official of the party, Dennis Njang. He is a member of the leadership team of the Popular Action Party, and he talked to the press after a meeting of the officials of the party in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé.
Action now. Since we are faced with a regime that the only answer to the problem plight of the people is violence, their response was to arrest, torture, brutalize, repress, insult some of our militants and our sympathizers. Most of them are in hiding. Some of them are on exile because of their position that they talk about with dialogue. So at that level, you can see even our national chairman, he was illegally detained for more than 8 months because he told Mr. Biya that this situation doesn't need repression, but rather a negotiation table. Negotiation table means dialogue. Let's go to the negotiation table and talk with your people and come out with solutions and see what they are vying for. If it is that the problem is that from the inception of the union, because it's a political problem that Mr. Biya has transformed it to be into a war issue. It was just a political issue, and the political issues are discussed through dialogue and negotiation. You don't transform a political problem to be a military crisis. Today it has escalated. So our position, like what we are talking today, we have been talking ever since in almost all our media outings. We need dialogue, or we go to the negotiation table. But now our position today is even beyond that, because we have seen that for the past 3 years he has bad faith. He has lost the confidence of the population. So we are even asking him now to resign, because the thing is out of proportion. To resign and ask for forgiveness. Cameroonians, he has to ask that he's sorry, because the deaths are uncountable. The sufferings are, schools are not that too much. Schools, children are unable to go to school. As one and feel belonged.
And while military solution is being implemented on the ground in view of bringing the situation under control, putting an end to the violence, the gun battles, and the destruction going on in the 2 Anglophone regions of the country, government is accelerating the ongoing decentralization process, believed to be a long-term solution to the Anglophone crisis, according to President Paul Biya and the Cameroon government. He announced the acceleration of the ongoing decentralization process, and it is within the framework of this that the Cameroon government has increased the decentralization budget from more than 10 billion francs CFA to close to 50 billion francs CFA. Added to the functioning of local councils is the component of regional councils that will be put in place after elections expected this year. 7 billion francs CFA will be allocated to regional councils. 2 billion francs CFA will be for the remuneration of the president and members of the regional councils, and 5 billion for the establishment and functioning of the council's prime ministerial release further states that a committee responsible for the follow-up of the procedures relating to the payment of the basic salaries of municipal executives and regional council members will be set up, and with a budget of 20 million francs CFA out of the 49 billion 800 million francs CFA allocated to decentralization this year. More more than 36 billion francs CFA is devoted to investment and more than 13 billion francs CFA to the day-to-day running of local councils. Now we move over to the west region of the country, notably in the locality of Bafang, where there was a standoff between the population, notably supporters of the mayor of that locality, Pierre Kwemo, who was incarcerated over some mismanagement and corruption allegations, and later released, and his welcome ceremony met with resistance from security forces of law and order, who used tear gas to disperse supporters of Mayor Pierre Kwemo. Innocent.
They are all admirers of Mayor Pierre Kwemo of Bafang in the west region of Cameroon. It was Sunday that they happily came out in their numbers in cultural dance group and the UMS party wear to welcome their development icon, who was jailed for a month at the State Defense Secretariat in Yaoundé over alleged land expropriation issues. Jubilating with peace plans for the triumphant return of their mayor, little did they know they will be tear gassed as if they were protesters. The ignorant people dispersed, running helter-skelter. Others ran straight back home. No one could explain such a behavior brandished by security forces.
Il m'a vu, il dit que je lui donne mon téléphone. Je lui ai donné le téléphone avec un signe de respect. Et maintenant il prend mon téléphone, il met avec par terre, il prend son pied, il casse avec.
Those who assembled to welcome the mayor at the ceremonial ground were tear gassed to quit the area. The courageous and desperate supporters of the UMS party and UMS football club leader changed location. They converged at the residence of Mayor Pierre Kwemo. He thanked and congratulated the people for braving repression to give him a warm welcome.
Je voudrais simplement remercier tous ceux qui sont venus à ma résidence m'accueillir.
He also described his people as agents of development and advised them never to succumb to intimidation.
Nous voulons la démocratie dans notre pays. Un jet de bombes lacrymogènes ne doit pas vous amener à avoir peur.
So far, no casualty or arrest has been signaled, though tension reigned Sunday all through in Bafang.
Nous allons continuer à développer notre ville.
Coming up, Immaculate Fogwe takes a look at the devastating and anti-productive consequences of the bush burning farming technique being used by farmers across the Republic of Cameroon. A case in point in this newscast is the locality of Ezeka in the central region of the country. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
Bush breeding, one of the oldest agricultural techniques used by farmers few months to the cultivating season, is a technique highly solicited in some parts of the country. In Ezeka, found in the central region, the act is highly craved by the population, as they say it helps boost the health and restore the nutrients of the soil. The technique is equally criticized by some inhabitants of the area who say proper measures are not taken to avoid the flames from trespassing its limits. In many instances, electric poles have suffered the devastating effect of the ravaging flames, as these inhabitants explains.
Pour éviter donc le voisin, le feu qu'on va mettre chez nous atteint le voisin parce que c'est un problème récurrent.
To avoid the fire from spreading, limits have to be allocated along the farmland by digging the soil. Even with that, we have to take into consideration that the wind at night could help trigger the flames to other parts.
Qui emporte le charbon et le feu.
Local authorities have taken upon themselves to sensitize the population.
Nous avons décidé de mener la sensibilisation.
We have decided to sensitize the population through communiques addressed to farmers, asking them to stay on the spot while burning. So if the fire tries to person, they can alert the population.
De rester sur place pour pouvoir alerter.
However, soil scientists hold that the act has a negative effect on soil conditions, making the soil to take long to recover.
Out of Cameroon, incumbent Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari maintains the lead as the results of last Sunday's presidential and, of course, general elections continue streaming in. In the report coming up next, for me, Armstrong Sanda makes a review of last Sunday's general elections in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Even though Nigeria's geopolitical map, history and opinion polls narrowed the 2019 presidential race to Atiku Abubakar against Muhammadu Buhari, the 72,775,502 registered Nigerian voters actually had to choose a president out of 72 candidates. The outstanding 5 were no doubt Muhammadu Buhari of the APC, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, Omielele Suere of the ACC, Kingsley Moghalu of the YPP, and Fela Dorotoye of the ANN party. Saturday's polls in Nigeria were comparatively mature and calm in a country that has had a taste of democracy as opposed to its neighboring French-speaking countries, most of whom have never witnessed a democratic transfer of power since independence. Notwithstanding, some violent scenes were recorded in states like Kano, Rivers, and 14 others, where a coalition of 70 civil society groups monitoring the vote said 16 people were killed. Some affected polling units in 6 of Nigeria's 36 states and the federal capital in Abuja even saw voting stretch on Sunday, February 24. Before declaring the winner of this year's presidential election, the Independent National Election Commission said it was generally satisfied with the vote, even though polling stretched into Saturday in areas where voters' card machines failed and materials arrived late. Most Nigerians and observers say the 2016 presidential elections remains the fiercest and the fairest since the country returned to democracy in 1999 after decades of military rule.
Nigerians went to the polls on Saturday to vote their leaders, including the president of the country, and of course Muhammadu Buhari is looking forward hopefully to a new mandate in that country. And now we talk sports with the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, the 24th edition that took place over the weekend in the Southwest Regional Chieftown. Boya, the winners in the male category, Mbacha Eric, and of course in the female category, Tata Karin. In the report coming up, Boya-based correspondent Derek Jato presents the winners.
Eric Mbacha from the Northwest region is the 2019 champion of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. He was second last year, and Golub Gap Sigwin, who won the last year's edition, came third this 2019. He revealed to the media that his training tracks were transformed into battleground between the separatists and the Cameroonian military in his Northwest hometown.
Concerning the Anglophone crisis, the route was too, our track was too occupied with the military, so we are afraid that sometimes they can see what TC or coming with the group like that, they will see some kind.
Ali Muhammadu, still from the Northwest region, came second. The 21-year-old from Kombo is new on this chart.
Let's give him a standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen.
He said the Anglophone crisis killed his academic dreams, but he resurrected this time in the world of athletics.
And then because of this Anglophone crisis, I was not able to finish, have my advanced level certificate. So I decided to put my mind in 2018, January 8th last year, to start a career as an athlete. And I was very young. Now I am the youngest athlete that have ever won Mount Cameroon Race of 21 to 22 years.
All right, thank you. And in the female senior category, the same people occupied the same positions they took last year. Tata Karin came first. Galim Lizette second, Angwaya Yvonne third. This 24th edition of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope witnessed some development. It was presided out by a new sport minister, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi. The race also recorded that top officials arrived at the venue in armored cars for security reasons. The 2019 edition of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope did not only witness a low turnout, but the ambience that traditionally accompanied this race was totally absent.
And the arrival of top officials of the Republic, including the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi, at the Moliko Stadium in an armored car, speaks volumes of the security threat that was looming over that event, the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, the 2019 edition. Derek Jato now takes a look at the security measures that were taken to ensure the safety and security of all the athletes and all other persons who were taking part in that race in a very tight security context in a crisis-hit southwest region of the country. He also takes a look at some eye-catching happenings during that race.
Just climbing down from an armored car, the Cameroon Minister of Sport and Physical Education is being welcomed at the Moliko Omnisport Stadium. Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi is here to launch the 2019 Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. But what preoccupies every mind here is the looming uncertainty. The separatists had earlier warned that the annual event must not hold and went ahead to call for a lockdown in the town of Boya, promising hell to anyone who violates their orders. And there have been some hostilities even before this eve of the race, with material damages recorded. But finally the minister is here for the tradition.
I declare the activities marking the 24th edition of the Race of Hope officially launched.
The race finally unfolded hit-free, and to Governor Bernardo Kalia Bilai, the governor of the Southwest region, the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope is the pride of the region and should be preserved.
Let us celebrate this event, and even if we have problems, this event should always be preserved, and I want to thank them for preserving the event.
On the part of logistics, assignments were seen abandoned. The health committee, for instance, left athletes to themselves. Some mattresses will be brought when the race is half gone, and even at that, there was no tent for shelter. Fortunately for the athlete, help came from an unexpected source. The Southwest Regional Delegation of Tourism and Leisure, its tent transformed now into the physiotherapy center for the weak and exhausted athlete. On the other page, the field was poorly decorated with some banners being pasted when the race is even coming to an end.
Second arrival.
And this is where we end this edition of the news on Equinoxe Television. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Goodbye.